Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome, members, newcomers, and any friends that are here to our worship service at Central Unitarian Church. My name is Susan Gempler, and it is my pleasure to be leading this leadership development and volunteer service today. I'm going to posit some questions. Why do any of us participate in CUC beyond attending a Sunday service? And if we do, why? What does it mean? What do we get out of it? As adults, we all know that privileges come with responsibilities. The privilege to worship or not, as we see fit. The privilege and fun of belonging to a club or any group means that we also shoulder some of the tasks that go with maintaining that group. And if the burden, and I really couldn't think of another word, I really don't like that one, but if the burden is shared, it ceases to become a burden. It becomes a shared experience, a beloved experience. I ask myself, is my service at CUC a gift to the church or a gift to myself? So when I am up here as a worship associate or singing in the choir or doing coffee hour or being on the LDT committee, is my service at CUC a gift to the church or a gift to myself? I think it's both. For I've gained as much or more from being involved in this congregation. I've grown as a person by being involved. I've gotten to know and love people I wouldn't otherwise have known or loved. You're going to hear about some of the work to be shared, some of the committees, the elected officers with whom we entrust the guidance of this congregation. You will hear from 4 individuals who have volunteered in many positions and just starting out, what they do and why. We're going to ask you to become involved, perhaps in a way you never have before. We're going to ask you to do it even if you're afraid or unsure or have limited time. We ask you to do what you can. Now, I know that those sitting before me and watching online are people who are talented, knowledgeable, and brimming with experience. A lot of you far more than I have. When you hear about some committees or positions that need to be filled, think hard, examine your unique self, and realize what you can contribute. CUC is an inclusive community of all ages. We embrace diversity in identity and expression and spiritual belief. We hope you find inspiration, hope, and renewal with us this morning. Now, if you're visiting in person, please be sure to say hello to one of our welcome hosts. I believe Winsome Demetrius is there, and also greeters Sia and Sam could also speak to you. If you're visiting online, we invite you to sign our guest book. The link for the guest book is provided in the chat at the bottom of your screen. We are immensely grateful for all those people helping to make the service happen, including Matt Anderson, who's leading our music, Phil Sosinsky and John Freund, who oversee the sound and the live transmission of the service. A special welcome to our guest speakers, Pam Zeldin, Sia Kortecki. Sia, did I say your last name correctly? No. Okay, how do you pronounce it?
It's Kortecki.
Okay, Kortecki. Annette Mahak and Carol Hoffman.
Since you're doing corrections, Mahach.
Mahach? Hotch? Okay. Okay. And Carol Hoffman, please, is that right? All right. This service is sponsored and led by the Leadership Development Team. Our members are myself, Stewart Kautsch, Monica Marcheterre, Elizabeth Stewart, and Pam Zeldin. Mana cannot be with us this morning, so Stu is going to read her part that's in your program. We invite you to stay after service for coffee, conversation, and connection. And in preparation for our service this morning, we ask those of you in person to please silence your electronic devices. And for our online participants, we encourage you to have your own chalice ready to light when we light our chalice here in our worship space. Now, I have a couple announcements. On the back table are menus from Westwood restaurants that people can peruse if they're thinking of staying in town for lunch or want to become familiar with places available to eat. And these are courtesy, I believe, of Elizabeth Stewart. Number 2, Generosity Sunday. That's next Sunday. Join us next Sunday, February 25, for Generosity Sunday, celebrating our future together as we enter into a new chapter of our congregation's history. And as we kick off our annual stewardship campaign, your generosity as members and friends of CUC supports our transition into our new building and enables our mission to serve each other and our community with compassion and grace. Members of our stewardship team will be available after service to assist with making pledges for the upcoming 2024-2025 congregational year. Wow, 2025. How did that happen? Now, is Clara Croft here? She has an announcement. She's going to come up here.
Hello, my name is Clara, and for the ones who don't know me, I'm the person collecting the donations to the Center for Food Action for the February food drive. My goal is to raise $1,000 and collect food, which will help local families and keep food on their tables and a roof over their heads. Last week we collected $436, bringing our total to $509. We also collected 5 food bags. To make the goal, I would like to collect $491 more by the end of the month. I really want to achieve this goal. Thanks for listening, and a reminder, I will be back after service with my bucket and the special bucket and Venmo information. For the first 12 people who donate today, I have a thank you cupcake for you. Next week I won't be at church, so I'll send out an email with information if you want to mail me a check made out to the CFA. On March 3rd, I will announce our results. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now let us formally begin our gathering. Please turn to a person near you and offer them a warm welcome. Hello. Stu, hi. Warm.
Morning, Matt. We're doing Blue Boat Home. Oh, John. Hi, Phil. The first reading this morning is from a UUA publication called Lifting Our Voices. Susan bought it. It comes in very handy for the worship associates. And number 48 is by Stephen Kendrick. We are here to face the truth about ourselves, about this faith we love, and the ways it presently serves others and the world. as well as to open ourselves to ways it can be better and more joyfully reflect our potential and core values. We want to know the ways we are bound to one another, as well as to larger religious movements normally beyond our sight and vision. We say we are open and diverse, yet it is too easy to feel stuck in old paths and stubborn habits reflecting not so much tradition as our comfort. We want to answer the call to service, to a world that needs our message, our hope, our revived energy. We are gathered to learn, to unlearn, to hear, and to move forward. Amen.
Now let us sing together hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine.
Sorry. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now let us light our chalice and say the words together. Out of the darkness, light. Out of the light, warmth. Out of the warmth, joy. Out of the joy, togetherness. May this flame hold us for the time we are here with one another. Stewart, are you going to do your reading? Isn't this?
We are now going to do the responsive reading number 567 from the Gray Hymnal, and it will appear on the screen. I'm going to do the regular typeface. The congregation will reply with the italics. I want to be with people who submerge in the task. Who stand in line and haul in their places.
Parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out.
The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust.
But the thing worth doing well has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident.
Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn, are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used.
The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real.
Thank you, blessed be. Can I leave now?
We are able to fulfill our mission here at CUC through the generous contributions of our members and friends. Your financial gifts help us to maintain our operating budget, which includes paying for our staff and the programming. If you can make a financial contribution today, your gift will help ensure that CUC continues to be a vital part of our lives and our community. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you. I heard some humming out there. Let's dedicate these gifts together by speaking the words. We dedicate these gifts in service of our mission to welcome all into a home of spiritual diversity that challenges us to become our best selves, to minister to one another in love, and to serve the greater community. And we'll sing from You I Receive 2 times through. (402). From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Now we enter into a time of meditation, taking a moment to share our joys and our sorrows. We do this each week as a way of caring for each other, and this segment is not included in our service recording. This will allow us to share our joys and sorrows within the space of those gathered here without publicly sharing them on the internet with the rest of the recorded service. We invite you to share the joys and sorrows you hold in your heart today. Now, if you're online, you may do so in the chat for this service below. Those of you here in person probably have already lit a candle and submitted a joy or sorrow. And then we'll offer a moment for those to share out loud the names of those you are holding in your heart today. So let us quiet ourselves and enter that holy space of listening, breathing in a breath of life and breathing out a breath of peace. May we hold these joys and all these sorrows, both spoken and unspoken, in our hearts while we enter into a moment of silence. Blessed be.
Hi, my name's Stu Kautsch. I've been acting at CUC since 2014. You might have seen me in the choir before or heard from me in my role in the Spring Fling Committee. Or perhaps you knew me as a religious education assistant in some years back. I'm now co-chair of the Leadership Development Team, which we call LDT, which was once known as the Nominating Committee, in case you would run into references about that. Our chief directive is to ensure that there is a nominee at the congregation's annual meeting for every open slot amongst officers, trustees, our own committee, and occasionally the Endowment Trust Fund. Please note that we are no longer making nominations for the Memorial Garden Committee. That's a recent change. Other activities include this service, which we do every winter. We also conduct exit interviews for board members and our own committee members whose terms have ended. This allows us to just improve everything. and checking in with members who are in their first year of an office or a committee assignment to see how they're doing. We do keep an eye out for congregation members who may be open for an opportunity on other committees as well. And in that spirit, I'd like to point out 3 committees that might not be mentioned by our speakers, who are free to mention or push any committee they want. And we have 4 speakers. So the first one I'm going to mention, Spring Fling. This was my own first committee, and I've been on it ever since. The Spring Fling is a fundraising event which has in the past included a live segment and will hopefully once again as soon as we're settled in our new building. Auctions are held for a variety of events and items of interest donated by church members and friends. If anybody's interested in the Spring Fling Committee, who should they see? Okay, Robin Kanata would love to talk to you. He's sitting in the back. Okay, the next committee I want to mention is choir. Do you like to sing? Then I have a committee for you. We meet most Monday evenings, September through May, and we sing in the service about once a month. Our repertoire goes across a wide range from Baroque and classical all the way up to modern arrangements and popular. Who's the choir members? And you can talk to any of us and we can get you in touch with Susan Springstead, who might be the best contact. I am also going to end this little talk by mentioning pastoral care, and I'm going to read from our website, the church's website. A select team of congregational members augments the minister's efforts by staying alert to members who might have a need for support in the form of visits, calls, transportation, or meals. Their mission's very important. I'm not acquainted with their organizational strategy, but if you do want more information about them, you could ask. Can I see a couple hands? Okay, if you look around you, these people would love to give you some more information about it. By the way, they're the ones who bring the cards, and there's a card to sign today for Laura Centano. I'm now going to introduce our first 2 speakers. Perhaps they'd like to come up. This would be Pam Zeldin and Sia Cortequi. Okay. I'm going to imagine you all know Pam, but I'll say just a couple words. In my opinion, of all the things, and Pam does the full spectrum, okay? She's a member of the leadership development team, by the way. And her leading the annual Passover Seder has been very important because we can't really get into depths with a lot of different religions in the service. And, the Hanukkah service is okay, but we don't really learn a lot. We learn a lot by the annual Passover Seder. And I'd like to thank her for that. It was very fulfilling last year. Also, she's been very busy with this entire move, and I'm sure she's going to touch on that in her own introduction. Sia Cortequi is an 18-year-old senior at Suffern High School in Rockland County. She's been coming to CUC since 2018. She states that this has been crucial to her development, especially in terms of community service and activism. She hopes to study education and psychology in college. Sia lists some of her volunteers as the Rockland Cleanup, Youth in Action for Climate Change, Rockland Indian Association. I'm sure you're going to tell us a little bit more about those, right? Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Have a seat until you're speaking.
Good morning. So, I'm Pam Zeldin, and I've been a member of CUC since 1994, when I came to CUC with my young family at the time. My children attended RE, and at the time I sang in the choir until we left CUC in 1997. So fast forward 10 years, I'm getting a divorce, and I returned to CUC at the urging of some very close friends, only to find that I was welcomed with open arms by a congregation that had become downright welcoming, because they hadn't been before. Shortly afterwards, I was happy to introduce my partner, Jeff Merrigan, to CUC, only to see him get totally involved in various volunteer positions as well. I mean, totally. Since returning, I found my place in various ways. I became a Covenant Circle facilitator and led circles for many years. Returning to CUC also led me to leading and coordinating and editing the Passover Annual Seder. And, I'm sorry, I lost my place. And, additionally, giving my time to the outreach auction has been very fulfilling, as I know we are helping those in need. More recently, I was a member of the transition team that was charged with selling our home in Paramus and finding our new future home in Westwood. Then came our big move, and I co-chaired the move team and literally got my hands filthy getting our Paramus building cleared out of all of our stuff moved into storage. So why have I taken on these tasks? Well, in a nutshell, this is my community, and while I give to it, I receive so much more in return. Having grown up in a secular Jewish home, I didn't have a sense of community since we were not part of any temple. My parents shunned organized religion, so I had no idea about pastoral care. It's very hard to follow this. So I had no idea of pastoral care, and in 2010, I had back surgery. And while I was in the hospital, I was visited by our then Reverend Carlton, our interim minister. Only then did I realize what community and pastoral care meant, and it has had such a strong impact on me to this day. So I ask you to consider, how can you give to our community? However you can give, I guarantee you'll receive so much more in return. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Sia Kortekwi, and I joined CUC in 2018. I'm a part of our youth group. As a proud member of this community, I'm here to share why I find immense joy and fulfillment in volunteering. Unitarian Universalism, at its core, is a faith that values the inherent worth and dignity of every person, the promotion of justice, equity, compassion in human relations, and the acceptance of one another in our diverse and interconnected world. These principles are not merely words on paper, they are a call to action, an invitation to embody the values we hold dear. Volunteering allows me to translate these principles into tangible deeds. It is a way for me to live out my faith and to be an active participant in creating the beloved community we aspire to build. Through volunteering, I am putting my beliefs into practice, fostering an environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. One of the beautiful aspects of UU is its inclusivity. We welcome individuals from various walks of life, embracing diverse perspectives and beliefs. Volunteering allows me to contribute to this inclusivity by working together with others to create a space where everyone feels a sense of belonging. It is through shared efforts that we build a community that reflects the richness of a human experience. Moreover, volunteering is a powerful way to foster connections and build relationships within our congregation. Whether it's organizing events, participating in social justice initiatives, or lending a helping hand during Sunday services, I have had the privilege of forming deep connections here at CUC. These relationships go beyond the surface. They are rooted in shared commitment to our principles and a shared journey towards spiritual growth. Volunteering also provides an opportunity for personal growth and learning. Each task undertaken, whether big or small, offers a chance to develop new skills, gain valuable experiences, and broadens one's perspective. The act of giving back becomes a reciprocal exchange, enriching both the individual and the community. I've always gotten more than I have given when I volunteer. In conclusion, my love for volunteering within our Unitarian Universalist congregation and beyond reflects my commitment to the principles that unite us. It is a way to actively live out our shared values, create an inclusive community, foster deep connections, and contribute to our ongoing personal and collective growth. Together, through our collective efforts, we can continue to build a congregation that embodies the transformative power of love, compassion, and justice. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Pam and Sia, for your really inspiring speeches. Really appreciate this. I'm Elizabeth Stewart, and I'm a new member of the LDT committee and co-chairman with Patricia Joseph of the membership committee. So the membership committee, besides welcoming people into the service, we also make sure that visitors are registered, that they meet Reverend Andre and other members of the church. We also keep in contact with them and visit them, call them, make sure they are invited to special events. And if they're interested in joining our congregation, we notify Reverend Andre, who will invite them to a new UU class. This year, we have 3 people who will be joining us. Alex Barbieri. Alex, you want to stand up? Okay. And is Kathy Whaler here? No? Okay. And Rudy Yeagers, returning. All right. So we have some more people, too, who have been visiting rather regularly. So we'll see how this all works out. The membership committee is also expanding their purpose to reaching out to our new home here in Westwood with donations to the food bank in Westwood, and in the fall by having a display at the Westwood Day Fair. And there are the menus over there on the restaurant that about the restaurants in Westwood here that Pam had notified you of. So if this committee sounds interesting to you, please reach out to me or to Patricia or to Carol Hoffman. She's also on our committee, and Winsome, and we can certainly get you involved. It's a fun group. It really is. And if you can smile and say hello, that's all. That's the only requirement we have. You don't have to, be a mathematician or, keep books or anything like that. So please welcome our next speaker, Annette Machat. No, I'm going to do this wrong. I know I am. Mahach, right? Is that right? Okay, good. Okay. Now, Annette and her husband have been members at CUC since 1992 and are still active volunteers in RE, even though their children have graduated. They've been coffee makers, garden workers, and cooks for Family Promise. Annette is currently involved in the Women's Alliance, Northern New Jersey Sanctuary Coalition, the Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration Committee, and as an RE teacher. Annette.
I don't know, Joseph will be surprised if all of you start calling him Joseph Mahach. Speaking of, we've been called Machak, Macaque, Machado, many variations of that name. But it's Mahach, it's a Czech name. So, I'm Annette, and you already know that, and you also heard a little bit about my history at CUC. So, why do I volunteer? Great question. In fact, it's a question my father used to ask me often after our family joined CUC in 1992. You see, I grew up in Eastern Europe, in Romania, under communist rule. And there, volunteering was required. So, the idea that I chose to volunteer baffled my father. Why? There's the state who does everything. Also, in general, in Europe, the tradition was for the lord of the land, the lord of the manor, and later the government, who had responsibility to take care of the people. So volunteering was not a common idea. However, in the US, ever since its founding, there has been a tradition of mutual help with limited reliance on government. Apparently, even Lafayette commented on the volunteer spirit of the new inhabitants of this new world. So to answer the question, I volunteer for many reasons, but one crucial reason is that I'm doing it for myself. I'm selfish. Some might say I really volunteer only because I'm selfish. Well, it's true. It makes me feel good. I like to know that I have helped someone, that I've made someone's life a little better, and I can feel happy that someone else is happy. Makes me happy. One of my earliest volunteering efforts was when I was in 8th grade in Israel, and our class went on a 3-day trip. We had to purchase and prepare food for the trip. We were divided into groups of 5, and one of us had to oversee the food for the group. That was me. I organized all the food for my group for the duration of the trip. You see, there were no fast food restaurants or any other eateries in Israel in the 60s. I was glad to do it, and the group was happy with what I had prepared. And I'm going to spend a little time talking about volunteering outside of CUC. I also volunteer because I feel it's the responsibility of all of us to look out for each other. My belief as a person and as a UU is that it's important for us to help improve people's lives. We are all parts of communities, and if we want to be good citizens, we must and need to help each other. Our family, our community, our country, and all humanity benefit and thrive if each of us does what we can to help. In our CUC community, I volunteer as an RE teacher, not only because I like to teach young people, but because it helps our community. I do coffee, I organize events, I'm a leader in the Women's Alliance, I planted vegetables, I donate money, I organize Spring Fling, many other things. I do these things to create community for all of us and for myself. As Pam indicated, it's really important for our own self as well. As many of you know, I, along with others at CUC, I am on the board of the Northern New Jersey Sanctuary Coalition with Sally Cummings, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration Committee with Thelma Smiley. These are organizations in the larger community whose mission is to support asylum seekers, the Sanctuary Coalition, and promote and educate people about social justice issues, the MLK Committee. Though these are activities outside my immediate family or small community, they are important since they help improve lives. The NNJSC, the Sanctuary Coalition, continues to help settle and educate asylum seekers, and the MLK Committee continues to promote social justice and provide scholarships to college-bound students. And I believe that we all can agree that these are laudable goals. I hope I've answered the question of why I volunteer. It makes me feel good. Volunteering helps create a better and happier community for all of us. And I volunteer outside of our community by being on the Board of Education, by cleaning up our town, on, as many of you do. I highly recommend volunteering. It will make you happy, you'll find new friends, you'll create community, you'll foster justice, and you'll bring joy to others. What other activity can do all this? Thank you.
Thank you, Annette, for inspiring us all to volunteer. That was great. Our next speaker is Carol Hoffman, who is another very active volunteer. Carol has participated in Covenant Circles, Social Action Team, Family Promise, Bountiful Garden, and Spring Fling. She was vice president of the board and has served on the board of trustees. She is now working on the membership committee. Yay. After moving through COVID, she found that working for the well-being of our congregation is a decision she will never forget.
Morning. This is a hard act to follow with all of these folks who have done so much volunteering. But I think you can see and understand that there is such a common thread of all of the folks who enjoy volunteering and feeling that they have made a contribution to not only this community, but the community outside of our church. So I'd like to just back into why I volunteer a little. I was brought up in the Lutheran Church, and all of my young life was being a participant in whatever activities that church offered, although it wasn't anything close to where we are today. It was when I joined a Unitarian church that I found out that the opportunities for serving was something I had missed for a very, very long time. Serving the congregation as well as a larger community really started to resonate with me on a much different level. And it wasn't just something that I recognized as something I wanted to do, but it was something that I needed to do. It was actually the touchstone of being involved in social justice that I had such a personal interest in that had me step up to the plate. At CUC, I found purpose and comfort in various committee work, which I purposely chose because I was still working full-time and doing a lot of traveling. But when I was, and I'm a very task-oriented person, and so within those committees, there was a lot of satisfaction and feeling that myself and the people on those committees were able to make a difference. The comfort level that I did not have, and I had to work myself through that, was when I was invited to become a board member, where I was very flattered to think that through maybe my business acumen, I had things to offer the board. I realized very, very quickly that I didn't really have what I thought the important tools were to contribute the way I would have liked to have. The congregational organization and development that came along with being on that board was pretty astounding. Understanding financials, broken down furnaces, roof repairs, and governance were not necessarily in my own wheelhouse. But take it from someone who felt very inept, there was also a great deal of personal reinforcement and fortitude that I needed to continue to move forward. I found through it all that there was a significant learning curve that in the end gave me great appreciation for how this congregation functions. But in all of that, I was having discussions with my own family, my daughter in particular, who happens to be an HR director for a very large shipping firm. And she introduced me to something called servant leadership. I had never heard of it before, but in having more discussions with her, she told me that the 4 components of this style of leadership are flexibility, empathy, stewardship, and listening. Compassion, character, and competence are the heartbeat of that concept. With this in mind, I knew I could comfortably move forward with my effort as I have now had a roadmap in which I had some experience. The servant leader is a servant first. It is a natural drive to serve in a capacity of support to the persons that have the capacity to be in the lead. You can share power by putting the needs of others first while helping people to develop and perform as highly as possible. In lending my presence to answer the needs of our congregation and that of others, I found my comfort level. When asked to serve as vice president under Brooke and to serve on the executive team with Reverend Andre, I felt better prepared to make a more significant contribution. In all of my time at CUC, this was absolutely the most rewarding period for me. Getting through the pandemic, working for change during difficult decision-making, voting for positive financial positions, looking for a new home base and finding temporary housing for our transition were invigorating and gave me a sense of purpose. Serving our congregation and for the other folks that we as a congregation do serve often have been souls that needed our attention and clearly our help. But it's also been an important part of my personal growth. As that stands, I don't think it's just my personal growth. I think for any of us that do volunteer, also represents the rock upon which a good society is built. So leadership in whatever capacity your comfort lies is well worth the time and effort. And I think that you have gotten from all of us who have come up here today, that sense that when you give, you get. And you get so much more from volunteering for this group. So thank you very much.
But you forgot your,
What I forgot, and I will never be forgiven for if I don't mention, is that stewardship can definitely use some more members and would appreciate.
we're all plugging, right? That's the whole thing. So as you can see, there's many benefits of volunteering. Thank you, Carol, very much for your insights and all the speakers for their inspiration. Thank you.
Now let us sing together one of our favorite hymns in the Blue Book, and I believe it will also be up there. Blue Boat Home, 1064, if you're reading it from here. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on the mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, are we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in a beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Let us all say our chalice extinguishing words together. We extinguish this chalice flame, but not our promise to each other, to act with grace, to hold each other in love, to serve this community and our world. This promise of the heart serves as a reminder of how we live together. May it bring joy to our collective lives.
As our final reading, I'd like to share with you from the UUA's Lifting Our Voices, a poem by Starhawk. We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered, half envisioned, one that we can only catch glimpses of from time to time, like community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us, eyes will light up as we enter, voices will celebrate with us wherever or whenever we come into our power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing, a circle of friends, somewhere where we can be free. Go in peace and be well.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And please join the LDT committee back with the munchies and the coffee. Have a good day.